since I was just talking about the Pacers and the Knicks, let me just get this in real quick about Myles Turner, just because there was a story out here. If you guys know, I'm going to read a quote here. You guys know Kevin Pelton, part of ESPN. I'm going to read a quote that he had here. And I think the further that, let me just say this. I think the Lakers missed their opportunity on Myles Turner, period. Like, I think that the Myles Turner conversation that we've had about the Lakers for a number of years now, Myles Turner did not just come up a week ago and it's like, hey, you know who'd be a really good fit on the Lakers is Myles Turner. We've been talking about Myles Turner for at least the last 2 trade deadlines. And Myles Turner has come up a lot around the Lakers. Kevin Pelton, I'm going to read this quote that Kevin Pelton had out there. And let me just say this before I read the quote. I think the days of Myles Turner with the Lakers is done. And I think the fact that the Indiana Pacers are playing as well as they are and are just 2 games away from getting to the NBA Finals, and we'll see how much further their season goes. I think the further they have got has made it more and more difficult for Myles Turner to leave the Indiana Pacers, and it's made it more and more difficult for the Indiana Pacers to pivot away from Myles Turner. So they didn't trade him at the trade deadline. They've obviously held on to him. Here they are, two games away from getting to the NBA Finals. I don't think Myles Turner is going to go anywhere. And I think it's going to be, I think the days of getting Myles Turner is probably in the rearview mirror. And the Lakers, if they had their opportunities, I mean, frankly, shame on them if they had chances to get him. Maybe they needed to overpay when Anthony Davis was part of the Lakers. Maybe that's what they needed to do, but they didn't do it. So let me read this quote here. Or maybe the guy just also wasn't for sale and there was nothing for Rob Pelinka to do. Kevin Pelton said this about Myles Turner. Turner has featured in trade rumors so long that he has been linked to just about every team in need of a starting center. A sign and trade would be complicated for the Golden State Warriors and the Lakers, but both franchises are clear fits in the unlikely event the Pacers and Turner can't strike a deal. So, obviously Kevin Pelton's basically talking about if the Pacers can't figure out a deal with Myles Turner in the offseason, maybe there's a sign and trade available. Maybe there's a way to get a guy that's averaging almost 16 points a game, 6.5 rebounds, shoots 40% from the 3-point line, 2 blocks per game, is kind of a perfect fit for a lot of teams out there. He did mention the Golden State Warriors as well, but for the Lakers, they're just so wildly desperate for a good starting center. I just don't think it's going to happen. So I think that I saw the quote out there. I saw the article out there, but for me, I just obviously don't think that the Lakers will have a legitimate chance at Myles Turner, and I think those days are over. I think they had a shot. I think there were some, there was a time where Myles Turner could potentially be a part of the Lakers, and I think the Lakers kind of missed that opportunity, and I think those days are gone. I'm going to read a couple of the comments here, and then I want to start talking about what Austin Reeves' agent said as well. Pacers are smart keeping their team together over the last 2 years or so. Yeah, there's, it's one of the things that I do hope that once the LeBron era ends with the Lakers, I really do hope there comes a time where the Lakers decide, hey, let's stop trading, or let's stop. What's the proper word that I'm looking for here? Recycling our roster every couple of, every year or whatever the case is. And let's just try to find a roster where we feel like this team can kind of grow together. And whatever the outside noise is, whatever the outside pressure is, once they feel like they actually find a roster that they can build off of, will be, obviously will be nice. But the Pacers, not all teams are created equal. Not all teams get kind of the luxury to kind of kick back and, hey, let's see how this thing works. The Indiana Pacers have that luxury. And frankly, I don't think they have a choice. I think it's like, yeah, this is how the Pacers are going to build, and they're going to take their chances doing it that way. All right, let's see. Let me read a couple more of these that we got here. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see what else. I want to see if there's any more on the Myles Turner thing here. The Lakers had a deal worked out for Turner and Hield, but they didn't pull the trigger. Yeah, that's kind of what I mean is they missed their opportunity. That the opportunity for Myles Turner, I think, is done. So that those days I think are over. And obviously a team like the Indiana Pacers have decided, and then listen, the Pacers have drafted well. They got some guys on their team outside of Tyrese Halliburton, they traded for Pascal Siakam. Nembhard is a nice player. They've put together a good team. And by the way, they also got a championship coach in Rick Carlisle. So that has a lot to do with it as well. All right. Thank you very much for watching the clip. Just want to give a shout out here to one of our partners, the Wallace Firm. They are official injury attorney of the Sliwa Show and Hoops Talk, the entire channel. If you are ever in a need, and I hope you're not, but some type of serious injury with yourself or a family member of yours, I would like to personally help you by introducing you to the best in the business, Brad Wallace and the Wallace Firm. Also got a URL out here that you can use as well. Just go to wallacewins.com/Sliwa. Thank you for their partnership, and thank you for being a part of the Sliwa Show.